Well, hello, my name is Jim Royal. I'm a huge Beatles and Elvis Presley fan and basically classic rock in general. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you could do a thumbs up, that's always most appreciated. And feel free to leave comments. I always enjoy reading them and I do my best to try to respond in a timely manner. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something, I'm going to call it second spins. Okay, it's a second chance maybe at looking at something, a record that maybe you heard of one of the solo Beatles years ago. You haven't listened to it since. Maybe you heard the hit single and then you may have read reviews on the record and maybe they weren't really that good and you thought, I'm just going to buy the best of, or I'm just not interested in it. Or maybe it's just something that escaped you completely. Or maybe you're a newer fan and you're just looking for something new to listen to. And that's why I'm here today doing this also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the 1970s in this particular video. And I'm going to take one album from John Lennon, one album from Paul McCartney, one album from George Harrison, and one album from Ringo Starr, and tell you what I think about it. First one, we're going to start out with John. This is called Walls and Bridges, and this was originally released back in 1974. This was, if I'm not mistaken, a #1 album, and it had a #1 hit on there in Walls and Bridges. The song was Whatever Gets You Through the Night. Whatever Gets You Through the Night is a nice Lennon up-tempo rocker, piano driven, and you got Elton John on it too, so that was a really good combination. You also have on here Number 9 Dream, which was a top 10 hit. I think it was a number 9 here in the States. Number 9 Dream is, in my opinion, sort of, it's a love song, but it's kind of like more contemporary, updated Lennon, and I like that too. Besides that, you have other really key songs on here. You have Going Down on Love, which I really like a lot. You have a funky song, What You Got, which is something that normally Lennon doesn't get, funky, but this was really cool. I love the song Bless You. I think it's just a nice love song, really enjoy that a lot. There's other songs on here I'd recommend, like Steel and Glass, if you remember How Do You Sleep from Imagine, that attack on Paul McCartney. This is basically a son of How Do You Sleep, but Steel and Glass is about somebody else, or as he said at the time, different people. But he didn't say who in particular it was. I really like that too. And can't say enough. What I like really about this album, it sounds fresh, it sounds new. And while there might have been 2 songs on the radio, the other stuff, I think it's, a lot of downplay. You just don't hear about it. So it's a real sleeper album, and it's something I would definitely recommend, okay? So that is John Lennon. Now let's go with Paul McCartney. And I'm going to go with their second album, Paul McCartney and Wings, and this one is called Red Rose Speedway. This was originally released in 1973, though most of it was recorded in 1972. And this was a #1 album. It had a #1 hit on here called My Love. And to me, My Love is one of my favorite Paul McCartney songs from that era. And if the Beatles were still around, recording in 1972 and 73 as a band, I would say for sure this is Beatle quality and it would definitely be on there. But what are some other songs that we have on here? Well, we have 2 semi-rockers, Big Barn Bed and Get on the Right Thing. I think those are really excellent up-tempo songs. I like them a lot. I like the country-infused song Only One More Kiss or One More Kiss, depending upon how it's written. On here it says One More Kiss, nice country song. I love Little Lamb Dragonfly. This is an idea where he combines 2 songs into one, which is pretty interesting and it works well. And then on the second side, literally everything I like every single track on here. On the second side, what do you have? Single Pigeon, it's about a 2-minute piano-driven song, really nice. I love When the Night. I think When the Night could have easily been on McCartney, the first solo album of his, if he had it. I love Loop First Indian on the Moon. That is an instrumental from Wings. It's kind of like Wings discovers Pink Floyd or influenced by them. Very interesting. I've always liked that one. And then you've got a medley. So you remember Abbey Road with its medley on there, and it did really well. Paul decided to try it again. Now, this isn't the only time Paul has done this. If you remember Egypt Station, 2018, he did the same thing with some songs. This is an idea where there are unfinished songs. There's 4 in this case. You have Hold Me Tight, you have Hands of Love, you have Lazy Dynamite, and then you also have Power Cut. My favorite one of those is Hands of Love, and then I like Power Cut a lot. But he does a good job. It's an 11-minute, medley of the 4 songs, and I think that they pull it off really well. This is one of those albums that when I first started getting into the Beatles and the solo Beatles specifically in the early 80s, I got this on cassette and I loved it right away. So I would say give this a chance too. All right. So now we're going to go to George Harrison. George Harrison's 1975 album. This is called Extra Texture. Read all about it. This is my album that I got probably around 85. You can see the cutout right there, and it's $3.99. Look at that. It's a Capitol re-release. I really like this album, though I gotta tell you, it's something that you have to listen to. It will grow on you. And yes, there is some serious George Harrison on this and some religious, so that's just things that you need to be concerned about when you buy it, if you need to be concerned about it. So what do we start out though? We start out with the song You, which I really like a lot. You is just a nice up-tempo, fun song. It was originally given to Ronnie Spector. They tried recording it for her album or single in the early 70s. It didn't work out. I think what George did is just kept some of the backing track and the sessions then and put other overdubs on it and did his own vocal. You have David Foster, who helped arrange this album, really good producer and also piano player, and orchestration is all over this, which is really good thanks to him. I really like this album a lot. You've got The Answers at the End and World of Stone. Religious overtone songs from George, really serious, but I like them. They're amazing, just amazing songs. They really help bring this album up higher than what it normally would be. I like that a lot. World of Stone is really good too. Can't say enough about both of those. Then you've got Tired of Midnight Blue on the B side, which is kind of a surprise. It's like, you flip it over and you're like, this is an interesting tune. Wasn't expecting this one. I love Ooh Baby, You Know That I Love You. This is his ode to Smokey Robinson. I think that is really good. And one of my absolute favorite songs from George is This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying. You had While My Guitar Gently Weeps. This is sort of a reprise for this, but in this case, he defends himself against the attacks from rock critics who had blasted him in 1974 for Dark Horse and his Dark Horse tour. Really, really good. So give this album a chance too. Like I said, it's a sleeper and it's something that'll grow on you. Can't Stop Thinking About You, I also like a lot too. All right, let's go to Ringo Starr. This is his second solo album, and this was originally released in 1970. It's called Bukus of Blues. It's a traditional country album. So if you don't like country, then I would encourage you to stay away from it. But if you're interested in hearing a Beatle do something a little different, I would say this is right up your alley. So when Ringo Starr was helping George Harrison record his All Things Must Pass album in 1970, there was a session player named Pete Drake, who also was a producer and very good, accomplished musician. While he was there, he realized that Ringo had an interest in country music like he did, and he invited him to go to Nashville. He says, I know some of the best session players there. You'll work with the best. What we'll do is we'll fly you in. You'll be there for about a week. We'll get a whole album recorded. In fact, we'll have country writers write all new material for you. So it's not like you're just coming there doing cover tunes, which is fine. But this would be like a new album. So Ringo took him up on it. He had a blast with them. It went really well. You have DJ Fontana on here, who is the Elvis Presley drummer. Scotty Moore engineered this album. He was a guitar player early on for Elvis. You have Charlie Daniels also on here as a session player. and many, many more. And then Pete Drake is on here and also producing it. What I like about this is just these are standout songs. These are just really top-notch, professionally written songs. You've got Buku's of Blues, which is the title cut. I really like that a lot. I'll just name a few of these for you that I really like. Fastest Growing Heartache in the West. I really enjoyed that one. Woman of the Night, I thought that was an interesting one. $15 Draw, that was pretty cool. I Wouldn't Have You Any Other Way, I like that. And then Silent Homecoming is an interesting one. This is, you know, kind of a commentary on the Vietnam War, which is surprising, but it was the time, and it talks about how a mother is waiting for her son. Unfortunately, her son is coming home from Vietnam in a body bag, and it is a sad story. So I can't say enough about how really good this record is. I just think it's excellent, and it's nice that Ringo tried something different and ventured in different territory that, you know, him and the Beatles, you know, normally don't do to this extent. And I gotta tell you, he did really well with it. So if you have any ideas of, you know, other albums that you would recommend, please, you know, put them in the comments. If you agree with me, that's great. If you don't, you know, that's always good to hear your comments. So thank you for watching the video. You take care, okay? Bye.